Hello YouTubers. Well, in this video I'm going to be doing a little bit of my own backyard logging here. Got a couple of trees here next to my own house here that have broken a recent windstorm, and I got one pine tree here that's threatening to literally topple over on the roof of my house, so I need to get it taken care of. So anyways, we're going to get on with that. You can see just over my shoulder here I have a ornamental elm, or I believe they're called the Chinese elm. There's a group or a grove of them here that have grown in right next to my house here, and they're pretty decorative trees, but unfortunately this one here is they're a fast growing tree, but after 20 or so years they have a tendency to kind of splay out, and that's what this one's doing. And we had a recent heavy snowfall here earlier in the winter here, a wet freezing rain type of thing, and the one fork of it here leaned over on the roof. Now that's not what I'm going to be dealing with today. That's for another day. I have to get up on the roof, and it's not putting huge pressure. It's just kind of sat down just on the edge of the roof there, just a little bit touching. So for now it's okay. Got all the snow knocked off of it. It'll be fine. But I have a big ugly pine tree behind the house over here that's threatening to literally, it broke about 5 feet off the ground and tipped over into another tree, and it's threatening to come loose and crash down on the roof of my house. So it's only about 20 feet away from the house, if that, maybe 15 feet away. So I need to literally cut it and fence post it down and try and get it to go away from the house if possible. So enough yakking, time to get on with it. I will be wearing a safety helmet today because I'm going to be working underneath this tree basically, and I have to constantly keep looking up, watching for broken limbs, and it's those kind of trees aren't fun to deal with, and especially when it's right next to my house. So anyways, I'm going to get on with it here. So. Okay, this is the culprit here. As you can see here, it broke right here. Now this tree was still green last spring here, in early part of the summer. As we got later into the summer and into the fall, the needles dried up on it because it was already compromised, and unfortunately we have pine beetle in our area here, and they're slowly killing the pine trees off. And anyways, you can see here, maybe it's got itself hung up in the other tree here next to it here. A couple other trees, a small one and a bigger pine. It's leaning over, and unfortunately here's my house roof right here, the back of my house. So what I don't want it to do is to break loose, roll, and go right through this hole here between the trees and land on the roof of the house here. That's not what I want to happen. What I want to try and do is cut this chunk by chunk off and get it to swing the butt in over here, and then get this top to tip back and go over that away over here next to my woodshed. It won't hit the woodshed, but if it falls in here, that'll be fine. But I do not want this top breaking free and going down over in here, like I say, over onto my house roof here. So there is other trees here that'll catch it, but what I'm worried about, it'll roll and then fall through. So no, there's no good way of, ideally it would be nice to get a rope tied up in the tree and pull it back that way, but being that it's pretty sketchy, I don't have, I'm not an arborist, I don't climb trees. So we're going to get on with it here. Enough yakking. Break out the saw here that a lot of you are probably curious as to whatever happened to there. That 357 XP part saw on a box project there that I've been working on, that I built the zigzag pipe for. And we're going to put it to work here right away. Anyways, this is the saw we're going to be using, the 357 XP there, the part saw in a box. The one that I put together there out of that pile of parts. And yep, I've got the zigzag pipe on it, and I've had this saw out now. I cut a few tanks of fuel through it already, and it's really performing well. So far so good, and it's a real ripper. So anyways, I need a fast moving saw here to get on with it. And adventure cat is getting in on the... Gonna get on with it here and get the cutting. I know I'm kind of hacking at it here a bit, whatchamacallit. I could have done it a little bit different, but so far it's going in the direction that I want it to go. Don't have the saw stuck, I just left it there for the moment, but it rolled off of this one, but luckily it went past. This little one here was underneath it, and it hung up in another one over here, and it's actually went over to the left hand side of it where I want it, because if it should break free and take off, it's going to miss the corner of the house roof over here. So it didn't go through over here. That's not what I wanted it to do, and luckily it didn't go there. It rolled. There was enough other trees standing here that blocked it. It didn't break through and go that way. It rolled, and if it would have went in over here to the right of this other green pine behind it, then it would have probably ended up coming down on the house. But seeing that it's over to the left, it'll roll and clear. This tree is in line here with the corner of the house. So, and there's another one over here, another tree here, and it'll keep moving it further and further away from the house. So that's, as I'm walking it over, it slowly keeps shifting, and right now it's hung up in there. So this next cut here, I might what I might do is actually take a shorter block and not take such a big, I was taking like four or 5 foot long chunks here, and that makes the tree jump like crazy when you do that. It drops too much. So what I'm going to do is just take a shorter firewood block here right away. So I'll set you folks up over here just behind as the tree is walking towards the camera here, and then you can see exactly what I'm doing. So shadows are getting a little bit long here, but I wanted to do this earlier in the day, but the wind was blowing like crazy and the tree was rocking around all over, and that's not what you want to be doing, is playing around with a tree in high wind situations. So I waited till the almost evening here. It's not dark, but the shadows are getting a little long, but at least the wind died down. I figured I got a half-hour opportunity before it gets dark here to get this tree down. So we're just going to keep walking it down block by block here, and well, you'll see what I'm doing here as I'm working. So just to see if I take another block off of it, I'm going to be able to I'll walk it out one more time, maybe twice more, and then I'll be able to tip it back the other way. Get the bulk majority of the branches and crap away from the house, and it's hanging on up there, but it's not by much, and I don't want it taken off and doing anything squirrely, so we're just going to think this through a little bit here. I'm going to make another cut here. Okay. I got it about as far as I want to bring it this way, because it's slowly walking its way over. What's going to happen is it is going to break off and head toward the top. Is very weak on that tree. So okay, that tree is I've got a, hang on, I'll show you here. I've got this homemade tree pushing jack that we made with for some of the older crowd. You'll recognize it. It's a modified old bumper jack from years ago from spare tire, you know, for changing your spare tire on when cars used to actually have a steel bumper. Welded a couple pieces of pipe. It's got a sharpened lug on that end over there, and another lug over here on the ground end here. It sticks in the ground. Wintertime when the frozen ground doesn't work quite so good. But anyways, I'm not the one that made this. My dad is, that was his brainchild. He invented this for doing jobs like this, for dealing with difficult trees. But I tried jacking a little bit, and it's still caught up pretty good up there in the top there. So what I'm going to do is take and cut one more block and walk it over one more time, and then see if we can use this jack here and push it back the other way out of the, get the butt to swing a little more this way if I can. This is all kind of I don't know what you want to call it, pucker moment here or whatever, but like I say, getting a little later in the day than I'd like, but at least now the wind has died down and it's quiet. It usually always does that. In the evening time is when the wind dies down, so we all know how that works. So okay, I'm going to give this one more go here. We're going to take another chunk off. Okay, that's as far as I dare walk it this way. If it's going any further, it's going to end up coming right back on the house. So we're going to get that tree jack going here, and it's pretty much almost broken itself free up top there. So it's going to roll over and fall on the house. But it's light enough now that it wouldn't do it. Well, I don't think it would do too much damage. I got the bulk of the heavy stuff off the butt end of it, but still, I don't want it smacking my house roof and taking the chance of doing damage. So we're gonna try and get this sucker laid down. So there's sticks and shit falling out of there already. Gotta get my lug to bite in here. There we go. Starting to move. Come on, you bugger. Gotta kind of walk it out of here. My jack needs some oil. It's still tangled up pretty good in there, and I don't, well, one branch is hung. It's off there, so. I don't know if you folks can see what I'm doing here or not, but these jacks are fairly long, so I still have about half my stroke, and it's just on the verge of going up and over. So just you can see here, don't take much. These jacks are actually pretty powerful. They're pretty good. They got quite a bit of force, but you can see it moving. I wish I had it on a set tripod so you could watch the top going over, but I'm just holding one hand trying to do this with the other. So, oh. And you got to watch for branches. There's shit breaking and falling out of there. You can see it's coming down, so that's why I oh, come on. Once it goes, it'll take off and go. It's already leaning in the right direction, but it's got one branch holding here. There we go. There we go. It's caught up with all kinds of stuff here. I'm losing my grip here in the tree here, unfortunately. Okay. We got it leaning back in the right direction, so we're all kinds of tangled up there. But at least we're away from the house. So wherever it goes now, it's a safe zone. It falls, it's not gonna do any other damage. Well, I guess we're gonna call this a video. Getting dark on me there, so anyways, back in the shop here. Got that tree fence post down away from off the stump and away from the house. The tree jack sort of did its job. Normally it would have been fine, but that the branches were caught up in the other trees there pretty good, and they were holding, so I couldn't push it back all that well. So what I ended up doing was just making a few more cuts and walking the butt of that tree as it kept coming down. Just kept walking it off over to the side, and now it's leaning, like I say, at almost like a 40-degree angle back out and away from the house. It's safely away from the house now. I don't have to worry about it tipping over and falling on my roof, and that's the main goal. Didn't get hurt, and it takes a long time when you're doing something like that, because you have to be careful. The steps of what you're doing, you have to assess everything, look at it, decide, you know, where the next cut, if you want to move it a little bit over to the right, to the left, try and push it forward a little more. And like I say, it was leaning on the proper side of the other tree, so it wouldn't break and roll away and you know, get onto the house. But the first few cuts there are always a little bit nerve-wracking. But anyways, we got it done, and I'll bring you folks back probably for a second video here. I'll show the 357 XP here running again. Got to cut up the rest of it in the block up those chunks there in the firewood and get that top processed and limbed out. And this saw has been running exceptionally well here. I'm very happy. I'm glad with the way I've got it set up here with this bar and chain that I'm running here. That cutting very well. So anyways, I'd just like to say thanks again for stopping by and checking out another one of my videos. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one.